Your occupation, a hospitality coach. What is that all about?
So, in an industry where it's quite a sort of a male-dominated industry, it's also an industry that is very brutal in terms of the number of hours, and there's a lot of pressure in that industry. So, you're talking about chefs that come in from breakfast and stand behind a stove in terms of their operations right till 11, 12 o'clock at night. There's other stresses. When you're running a business like that, there's stresses of finance, falling footfall, banks, loans, rent, etc. And there was a gap in the market. There doesn't seem to be many of us out there. And I thought, with my experience, and I've had 27 years experience, 28 years experience in hospitality, specifically in foods, in the food sector, food service sector, in supply chain. So I thought that would be a really good fit to position myself in that sector in that way.
So when you say 27 years of experience, what is your own personal experience in the sector?
Well, okay, so where do I start? In 1990, when I came back from America after getting my degree, I walked straight into a recession, thinking that I was going to get this glorious job and I was going to make it in the big time. Reality kicked in, and we were all in our household. All the men were out of jobs, and so were the women. And we decided that we've been entrepreneurs for the last 3 generations, and we decided that food was a good way to get into a business that allowed us to have some sort of against recession and slowdown. At that time, it was a good business to get into, and we kind of fell into it through a friend of ours who was a director at Cromwell Hospital in London. And the rest is history. We grew that business from our mother's garage in terms of supplying hotels and restaurants, and took it up to 42 million.
Fantastic. So my apologies, first of all, to the viewers. It may seem like I'm looking away from the screen. I have another screen here on which I'm keeping up with the Facebook comments and the Facebook Live. So to our viewers, we have no live call-in today. However, if you would wish to ask any questions to the expert we have on this morning, please feel free to drop them onto the Facebook feed. And please do share our Facebook feed. We're talking about restaurants today. A significant amount of our viewers will be restaurant owners or restaurateurs or staff who work in restaurants, and there'll hopefully be some valuable information today to take away about the particular sector. So please do share our live link, and also please do ask any questions you have on the Facebook feed. So, a hospitality coach, what does that entail? What is the job description?
Basically, the way that I've structured the approach is that I would go and see or get in contact with a person who firstly wishes to be coached. That's the most important thing, is to be wishes to be able to start looking at their mindset specifically. And that's the starting point. It's not necessarily about the business, although the business is very much intrinsically linked into the whole process. But it's the mindset that's really important that I address, and see where the stops are, the blocks are, see where there's fogginess in terms of clear thought and clarity. And there's a program that I put in. It's called the Entrepreneurs Masterclass. It's a 3-month program, and there are 9 sessions in there. And we work the starting point is the mindset. So looking at the mindset and seeing what mindset is. So the program is actually divided into 3 sections. There's reframe, create, and relaunch. And section is purely about where you are in terms of your mindset. Are you procrastinating?
Would you class yourself as a bit of an Asian Gordon Ramsay?
I wouldn't put it that far. I think you would probably look at me as somebody who comes in into an environment where mindset has not been actually addressed. Because it's such a fast-paced environment, people just don't have to think. And over time, what happens is we collect a lot of stories, we collect a lot of baggage that we, really, it becomes part of our belief system, a part of become our values. And a lot of those become actually blocks in terms of our, it impacts our relationship with others within the business and our personal relationship. So the program actually starts with a reframing, and then we address the recreation of that mindset and look at setting up goals and strategies personally and professionally. And then the last bit is looking at relaunching the self and also the business, but it's all based around the self.
Yes, the self is core. So when you